Hey everyone, this is DeveloperAnil. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking into what changed in Laravel 3. So currently we've been using Laravel version 2. Even in the previous video we used Laravel version 2 to create the crud operations. Now that Livewire version 3 beta has been released, we'll be taking a look into what changed from version 2 to version 3. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look is that Livewire 3 is providing an artisan command to make automated upgrade to existing application. It provides the command PHP artisan Livewire upgrade, and this would generally upgrade most of the files that was written in Livewire 2 to Livewire 3. If there are any other changes required, we can debug and make the changes. Livewire version 3 will be requiring PHP version 8.1 or greater. In order to update Livewire to version 3, we need to use this command here. So we'll be using composer require livewire/livewire, and we specify version 3.08 beta. Previously, to install version 2, we would simply run composer require livewire/livewire, and that would install version 2. But now, since the version 3 is beta, we need to specify version 3.08 beta. After doing the installation, we need to clear all the views. So we'll run the command php artisan view clear, and that would clear all the views, all the cached views from the application. The other change that occurred in this version 3 is the namespacing for the Livewire components. In version 2, the components were stored under app/http/livewire, whereas in version 3, the default has been changed to app/livewire. The other thing that changed is the location for the layout file. That is, the version 2 was storing its layout file inside resources/views/layouts, while the version 3 will be using the location of resources/views/components/layouts to store the layout files. The other change from Livewire 2 to Livewire 3 is eloquent model binding. In Livewire 2, there was support for binding the properties of a specific model using wire model, while in Livewire 3 the binding has been disabled. However, since Livewire 2 used the eloquent model binding heavily in order to do the development, there is this configuration that can be made in the file config/livewire.php. We can set the legacy_model_binding to be true, and that would do the binding of eloquent model properties the way it used to do in version 2. Also, in Livewire 2, we needed to install, or let's say embed, the link for Alpine.js or whatever the plugins for Alpine.js are, like intersect, collapse, persist, morph, focus and marks separately. But with Livewire 3, all of these are built in to the version here. So once you have Livewire 3 included in your blade file, you don't need to use Alpine.js separately, you don't need to include the plugin separately. Everything is shipped inside the Livewire version 3. The other significant change from version 2 to version 3 is wire model. So what the change occurred from version 2 to version 3 is that wire model is now deferred by default, while defer modifier was required in version 2, meaning that when we bind an input using wire model, it is binded live, which means that as soon as you start making some changes, the Livewire refreshes, Livewire component refreshes, and the changes are reflected straight away. And in order to defer the process, we needed to use this modifier named .defer. However, the version 3 has set this defer modifier to be default, and in order to achieve the functionality, the live functionality from version 2, we need to use .live modifier like this. So wire model .live. Similarly, all this data binding in version 3 using entangle is also set to defer by default, and to achieve the live functionality, we can use entangle.live. The other upgrades include the changes in events. Previously in version 2, there were two methods for triggering events like emit and dispatch browser event, while in Livewire 3 it has unified these two methods into a single method named as dispatch. So what the changes occurred from version 2 to version 3 is that emit has been it has been renamed to dispatch. Dispatch browser event has also been removed and renamed as dispatched, and all the event parameters must be named. Okay, what does that named means? We can see an example here. What it says, we now shall be calling, or let's say triggering, any event like this $this dispatch. This is the name of the event, and this is the parameter name, email, and the value is here. Okay, so this is what this third item means. The event parameters must be named, which means email is the name of the parameter and this is the value. Similarly, while using emit op method, there is no need to use emit op now. Okay, now what changes has been occurred is that the events are dispatched using browser events, and therefore they will bubble up by default. So bubbling up has been made default, so there is no need to use emit op method. Okay, so it has been removed completely. Now in order to achieve this same functionality, what do we need to do? We need to use this dispatch method. Okay, since emit has been removed, dispatch browser event has been removed, so we'll be using dispatch for achieving these functionalities. The other change is for the URL query string. In the previous versions, if you bound a property to the URL's query string, the property value would always be present in the query string unless you use the except option. But in Livewire 3, all properties bound to the query string will show up if their value has been changed after the page load. Now the change is that in Livewire 3, the properties will show up in the query string only after the page has been loaded, and there has been some change in the query string. Okay, if you'd like to revert back to the Livewire 2 behavior of always showing a property in the query string no matter its value, you can use the keep option. Sometimes maybe you need to show the query string all the time despite there is any value or there is no value. So to achieve that behavior which Livewire 2 had before, we can use the keep option like this. Okay, so in this case, this query string is source, and if we use keep true, that would always show up in the query string. The other changes are with pagination. So now, keeping in mind that there could be multiple paginations within a single page, Livewire 3 has updated the pagination system to support multiple paginators within the same component. Now that Livewire 3 supports multiple paginators per component, it has removed the page property from the component class and replaced it with a $paginators property that stores an array of paginators. Now $page is removed in Livewire 3, and to do the same we shall be using this code now, that is $this paginators and the page. So paginators array must be used in order to implement the pagination in Livewire 3, and this page is basically the key and the value is 2. However, it is recommended that you use the provided get page and set page methods to modify and access the current page. So how we can get the page and how we can set the page? In order to get the current page, we can do $this get page and $this set page. Okay, now why this array is used here? It's because we can use multiple paginators within a single component. So one of the component may be using page, the other one may be using simple page or the dynamic page or something else. So for that purpose, we will be implementing the paginator here. The other change is in prefetching. So Livewire's prefetching feature, Livewire had introduced prefetching feature before using this modifier .prefetching, and what it would do is whenever you hover over the element which has this modifier, it would fetch the component or fetch whatever the action is to be done when the button is clicked. It would do those tasks in the background already, so that you could get the quick response. So that feature has been removed now. However, if the application is dependent on that feature, it would still work, but it would just be slightly less performant in the instances where you were previously benefiting from prefetch. Okay, so prefetch has been removed in version 3. The other changes are component class changes. So what actually changed here is the component ID property here. If you access the ID property like this, so previously we would access the ID for the particular Livewire component using $this ID, which has been replaced with $this get ID method. Okay. Likewise, duplicate method and property names would not work with Livewire version 3. Previously, let's say the class name is car, we could also declare a method, or let's say there is a property named font size is equal to 15. We could also declare another method using the same property name, public method font size. So that was possible with Livewire 2. However, with Livewire 3, that has been removed. So it doesn't allow you to have same property name and same method name. It is strongly recommended that you use distinct names for all public methods and properties in a component. The other changes are with JavaScript API changes. In previous versions of Livewire, you could listen for the Livewire load event to execute JavaScript code immediately before Livewire initialized the page. In Livewire 3, that event name has been changed to Livewire init to match Alpine init. Now, as I mentioned before, that Alpine and all its packages are shipped with Livewire 3 are already there with Livewire 3. So in order to match with Alpine, the Livewire load event has been changed to Livewire init event here. Okay, so this was what was with Livewire 2. There was Livewire load. Now there is Livewire init, and those were the changes that we discussed today. I am starting series for Livewire 3 with this video. I will be bringing in another video with all the changes, but we'll see all of them practically. We'll be looking into one project built with Livewire 2, the other project that has Livewire 3. We'll look into all the changes, and then we will determine how to upgrade your existing application from Livewire 2 to Livewire 3. So till then, please keep supporting, and if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe the channel to get other videos in the series. If you have any issues with the video or something that I have missed the with mentioning during this upgrade video, please mention it in the comments. Thank you.